How does it feel?
Blue Monday by New Order isn't just a classic, it's a groundbreaking track that reshaped electronic music, blending synthesizers, drum machines, and bass lines into one of the most influential dance records of all time. And it all starts with this instantly recognizable bass drum pattern. Now, this pattern was inspired by a well-known disco song, and here are those drums isolated. After the drums, the next thing we hear is this intro synth that fades in, and it's in a rhythmic pattern of 3. This pattern of 3 continues even when the drums and the bass kick in, creating a subtle rhythmic complexity to the track, and this part actually follows the chord changes as well. So this took some serious programming, and here's what it sounds like with just the drums. The synth bass in the intro sounds like it was inspired by disco as well, with those jumping octaves. And when we add the drums, we get this legendary dance groove. The drum breaks and fills in Blue Monday are so unique sounding that they've actually become hooks or memorable parts of the song. And that one almost sounds out of time, but it is in time, and this is what it sounds like with the steady beat of the track. And after that drum break, we're now in the second part of the intro, where the drums and bass become simpler and more driving. And over this driving beat, we have this sequence of unique musical elements layered on top that keep your ears engaged over this extended intro, starting with these echoey drums. This spaghetti western-inspired 6-string electric bass. And this choir. Now, this choir sound has a fascinating history to it because New Order actually sampled it from a Kraftwerk song called Uranium. Now, Kraftwerk created that choir sound with a rare keyboard instrument called an Orchestron by Vako, which was designed to compete with a mellotron, but instead of using tapes, it used optical discs to store the audio recordings. And here's a recreation of the Kraftwerk chord that eventually made its way to Blue Monday. We also have these synth strings that got blended into that choir. Now, it's worth mentioning here that when you have fewer elements, but they're the right elements, that together they can sound huge, because underneath this choir and strings is just bass and drums, but together it sounds massive. And towards the end of the intro, we have these high strings that come in that you can really hear at the very end. And just past the 2-minute mark, we get to the first verse.
How does it feel to treat me like you do when you've laid your hands upon me and told me who you are?
The vocals that we hear in the song have a unique sound to them, and that's because they took this vocal track, added a bit of spring reverb, and sent the signal to a speaker in a recording studio and recorded the sound of that with a microphone.
How does it feel to treat me like you do when you've laid your hands upon me and told me who you are?
Now, I'm sure you heard the harmony part in that one phrase, and this is what they did for the vocals in this song is certain phrases would have harmony elements, but they were run through what sounds like either a vocoder or a speech synthesizer.
Thought I was mistaken. I thought I'd heard your words. Tell me how do I feel? Tell me now how do I feel?
The 6-string electric bass does a bit of call and answer with the lead vocal, and like the vocals, it's performed by a human being with spontaneity, humanity, and a few choice dissonant notes as well. And this is all in contrast to the machine-like programmed parts of the song.
How does it feel to treat me like you do when you've laid your hands upon me and told me who you are? Thought I was mistaken. I thought I'd heard your words. Tell me how do I feel? Tell me now how do I feel?
We also have this percussive synth line that comes in around the second line of the verse. Now, on its own, it sounds fine, but it turns out that this part is actually out of time with the sequence. Now, Blue Monday was made before MIDI was established, and in this case, they used binary code to program this part, and it wasn't until they played it back that they realized they were off by a 16th note. And as fate would have it, when they added the bass synth part, this accident actually worked, and they kept it. Now, because we can, let's put that part to be on the beat the way it was intended and see how it sounds, and then switch back to the happy accident. And we haven't yet talked about the choruses in Blue Monday, and it's because there are no choruses in Blue Monday. It's got its own unique song structure, which is essentially verses and these great instrumental sections. And to close this breakdown, let's go towards the end of the song, where all of those instrumental parts get layered on top of each other to create this huge wall of sound.